Since Luke Skywalker's death in The Last Jedi, the common agreement throughout the Star Wars fandom on who is the last remaining Jedi now is Rey. I mean, she was slightly trained by Luke, is as if not more powerful than him, and she's the only Force user we know of at the moment in this era of galactic history who exclusively practices the light side of the Force. So she'd seem to be the last Jedi by elimination. No one else has a better claim to that title, right? Well, with Jedi Fallen Order now released, we get to experience the events following Order 66 by playing as Cal Kestis, a Jedi Padawan in hiding from the Empire. At the beginning, he's a fairly weak Force user because of his past trauma and the inability to use his powers on a regular basis, so he's gotten a little bit out of practice. However, as the game progresses and through multiple flashbacks of his master's training, he slowly becomes a formidable opponent. He even defeats 2 Inquisitors and survives an encounter with Helmet Head himself. And as of the end of Fallen Order, he seems to be alive and healthy. So if we were to boldly assume that he doesn't die after the events of the game, then he'd be around Luke's age by the time the events of The Last Jedi take place. So the question is, does he have a better claim to the title of The Last Jedi than Rey? Well, let's start off with training. Cal was trained as a Padawan for, let's say, around 12 years, since he seems to be around that age when Order 66 takes place. Rey, on the other hand, had 2 to 3 days with an out-of-practice Luke who basically only taught her the Force basics. So for training, this one goes to Cal. Next is opponents. Cal has defeated 2 Imperial Inquisitors, Taron Malicos, a fallen Jedi, countless dangerous space creatures and stormtroopers, and survived an encounter against Darth Vader, the most notorious Jedi killer in galactic history since General Grievous. Rey has also had her share in stormtrooper slaughtering. Yeah, they're technically First Order troopers, but come on, they're basically the same thing. She's also defeated Kylo Ren in combat, and that's about it. So for this one, I think I'm going to have to give the point to Cal again. And finally, we gotta decide if they passed their Jedi trials. So it's shown in Fallen Order that Cal's trial is facing his former master and accepting that his death wasn't his fault. And if you don't think that that's a good enough trial, then he also fights and wins against the fallen Jedi Taron Malicos and the former Padawan turned Inquisitor Trilla Suduri. Rey's trial came from defeating Kylo Ren in combat, not allowing Luke to give up on the Jedi, and resisting Snoke's attempt to turn her to the dark side. Just pick one of those, I guess. Or all 3 of them. So, while both of them are Jedi Knights in practice because they technically passed their trials, only Cal is a Jedi in name. He passed his trials and was knighted by another Jedi Knight, which isn't technically formal as you're supposed to have council members knight a Padawan. However, Wikipedia gives us some more insight on that rule. It says, only the High Council could promote a Padawan to the rank of Knight, though this rule was not always observed, especially in times when the order was spread extremely thin or the Council could not be contacted for a great period of time. So while Sirey may not have been a Council member when she knighted Cal, I think that the near extinction of the Jedi and the death of almost every Council member allows for this loophole to be used. So altogether, Cal is technically the last Jedi and not Rey. She's still essentially a Padawan in both her skills and knowledge of the Force. However, if Palpatine ends up twisting Rey to the dark side and teaches her some tricks and Force abilities, then she might end up becoming the last Sith. However, the title of the Last Jedi goes to Cal. What do you guys think? Is Cal the Last Jedi, or do you think that Rey deserves the title after all that she's been through? Leave your comments down below, and while you're at it, why not smash that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.